Joining me today is Emma Stewart, Netflix's Sustainability Officer, to talk about the how of integrating sustainability into companies' operations and core products. Emma, let's start talking about Netflix's net zero goal. How does it get integrated within the production process of Netflix shows and movies?
Well, we have two public climate targets. One is to halve our emissions this decade, and the second is to also net out any residual emissions in a given year by purchasing high quality carbon credits. And that manifests in the production world in really important ways because production, the making of film and television, makes up the majority of our carbon footprint, about 60%. And so the way that we support our productions is through a framework we call Optimize, Electrify, Decarbonize, OED. And we help them find ways to identify energy efficiency opportunities, whether it's in lighting or more efficient motors and technologies. We help them then electrify whatever possible, but in particular, transportation and buildings. And then lastly, help them decarbonize what's left by squeezing out the carbon from existing fuels and replacing it with cleaner fuels like sustainable aviation fuel or battery technologies in lieu of diesel generators.
Netflix has over 200 million households subscribed to its services globally. How do you tell the Netflix sustainability strategy to the viewers?
What we found in consumer research done by third parties as well as our own research is that the changing climate is affecting all of us and has become very important to 80% of people across every demographic. What that means is we're hearing that our members and prospective members want to see these topics, issues, and the societal transition show up on screen and be fully represented and accurately represented in the stories that they enjoy on our service. And so with particular titles that have a very explicit sustainability themed premise, like Our Great National Parks or Don't Look Up, we support the filmmakers with impact campaigns that provide a community online for viewers who are motivated to learn more and to drive more conversation and viewership of those titles, and through a nonprofit partnership with Count Us In to actually take action that they've been inspired by the title to implement. And so those are the sorts of ways in which we engage our community and try and serve their desire to have deeply entertaining and also enriching television and film in their lives.
Emma, you mentioned Don't Look Up. Is there anyone on the planet who has not seen Don't Look Up at this point?
I'm sure there are, but those who have love to talk about it. And it really was a wonderful moment showcasing the degree to which, even in an allegory, the topic of climate change and its effect on our lives and the inaction around it is water cooler conversation for people on social media, at the dinner table, in their church, in their job. And that film took a real deft hand to treating a difficult topic, which is the politics surrounding climate change, especially in the United States, where it has been polarized. But its comedic treatment made it really accessible and wildly successful in terms of viewership. It was the first comedy to hit the top 10 for Netflix in over 90 countries, and ultimately became the second most watched film ever in Netflix history, up against some really steep competition. And what we saw was that the conversation generated in the press and on social media continued long after the December 2021 launch. And we've seen the climate theme of the film as the primary driver for those conversations. And in fact, the slogan of Just Look Up, adopted by many in the climate movement. At one point, there were marches across cities in France called the Just Look Up marches. So it really was an example of the ability to tap into the zeitgeist of a moment in history when people are alarmed about the problem and want to talk about it, and yet need an invitation to do so.
As always, Emma, it's our true pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for sharing your insights about leading at the intersection of sustainability and business.